All right, awesome artist. So now I actually have that 2 inches here. So I'm just going to use my ruler to double check. Looking good. Okay. And now we get to start finishing it off and also taking it off the loom, which is really exciting. So we're going to see those steps now that we're all set. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do with this extra string is I'm actually going to weave it through here, through this little side area. So I'm just going to kind of over, under. Okay, kind of weave this into here until, there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull it through. These bigger needles, it might get a little tight. So you know what we're going to do? So that way it doesn't stretch it out too much, is use one of the smaller needles. We'll definitely have to use it on the bottom. I thought maybe I could pull it through on the top, but no. And that way it won't get too stretched out. So there we go. I'm just going to cut enough string, and I'll use one of these smaller needles that we have. If you have a bigger needle and you need a small one, they're up at my desk, so just come on up and get a smaller needle here. And that's going to be much easier. Okay. All right. And I'm going to pull it through here. There. See? So much better. Okay. And so now I can cut off this little end. Make sure not to cut my actual weaving. Okay, there you go. Tight, nice and safe in there. All right, the next thing to take your weaving off the loom is if you haven't trimmed up your knots, now would be a great time to do that. I have not trimmed up my knots, so I'm doing that right now. Satisfying snip of the scissors. Okay, there we go. And there we go. And there we go. All right, looking good. Now, the next part is to weave. Remember how we used this little needle like 3 seconds ago? Okay, we're gonna do it again. And we're gonna weave this bottom part through just like we did the top there. Now, if your tail is really small, you can always also just knot it, or come talk to me if you can't even knot it if your tail got a little too small while you were weaving. And that's the one we started with, way down at the bottom. So I'm just twisting this to make it fit through the eye of the needle. That's what that is called. All right, come on. There it goes. And now I'm keeping my finger on here so it doesn't pull out on me. All right. This is a bit tighter than the other one. Really tight, actually. There we go. I'm going to try and get it through just a little bit more and pull it through like that. Okay. And then this one it's a little, I didn't get it too far through just because my weaving was tight. So I just want to knot it too. Don't want our weaving coming out by any means. So I'm just doing a nice double knot there. And then I can snip. There we go. Okie dokie, let's move that yarn out of the way. And so now I'm gonna start cutting 2, tie 2, cut 2, tie 2, cut 2, tie 2. And I don't wanna cut these down here because you won't have any room to tie, problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut 2 up at the top. There we go. And tie 2. So X. All right. And then I'm gonna loop one side through, pull nice and tight. I'll probably do double knot just to be safe, like that. Okay. You can choose how much fringe you want. Okay, that's quite a bit of fringe. I might trim it up a little bit. So one more time here. Cut 2. There at the top. Tie 2. Okay, cut 2, tie 2, and double knot it. One more time. Cut 2, tie 2, and X, loop through, pull tight. All right, we'll do a little fast motion here. We'll catch you guys here in just a sec. All right, now friends, you'll also notice I had an extra one here, so I'm actually gonna cut 3, tie 3. Okay. Almost forgot it too, so I'll do cut 3, whoop, tie 3. There we go. All right, nice and solid there. Okay, so now that I have this, I'm going to trim the fringe just a bit. I don't want to trim it too small, so then my knot might come out, but this needs to be a little smaller for me. All right, there we go. Trim them all about the same length. So now that I have that finished, now it's time to jump to the other side and do the same thing, okay? Now, if you went farther up and you don't have a lot of string up at the top, here's what you can do. You don't have to cut it. You can just pull it off from the other side if you need more string to tie with, if that makes sense, all right? But if you have plenty like me, I can cut it a little farther down, so that way I don't have so much fringe to tie off later. All right, there we go. And then we'll cut 2, tie 2. Well, I cut more at a time. That's fine. But now it's time to tie 2 together. All right, we'll catch you here in just a sec. So you'll notice once again I have 3, so I just grouped those together. And then I'm tying those together. Just so that way I don't have some string just hanging out there. Okay, good. Now it's time to cut the fringe. So I'm going to come up. I'm not going to cut this little piece right here because that's about the length that I want. There we go. All right, grab 2 and trim. Using a little farther back on the scissors if it doesn't take the first time to cut it. There we go. And you want to make sure you've got them all tied, okay? Because if you have any loose, then your weaving's going to be loose and could come untied, so, or undone a little bit. So make sure that you have tied all of them, okay? There's none just chilling, okay? So I've got this here, and now it's time to see how to take it off the loom. All right, exciting, exciting. So when we take these off, it is going to be kind of inside out. We're going to kind of flip it inside out so you're not seeing all those knots like we talked about earlier. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of these little thingies up here. Make sure the back looks good, or this side looks good. Now I'm going to take this off and I'm going to squish it. You're like, what? Yes, squish, squish. Okay, we're going to squish it down. Okay, kind of like a too tight sock. It's been stuck. Okay, I might even need to like put it in between my knees and then keep kind of pushing like that. We'll see if I can keep it in camera view. I'm holding it down. I'm using quite a bit of strength here. Okay, so I'm still being careful with it, but I'm still taking it off. Okay, there we go. Let's keep on doing this here. Okay, still pulling it off. It looks pretty squished, but we'll see in just a second. It'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead, move this off camera for a minute and kind of put the cardboard in between my knees and then kind of pull the rest off for us here. So you can always do that too, and it'll work a little bit easier for you. All right, here, just a sec. You can see mine now came off, and I'm still being really careful with it. Notice I didn't try to be the Hulk and like, just take it all off at once. I went slowly, and now I'm slowly going to, can hear that? Take it off. I'm just grabbing, twist, grab, like that, carefully. Okay, there we go. Now this is the side with the knots. So I'm gonna flip that on the inside so nobody sees. Ooh, very fun, right? Very fun indeed. Nobody sees the knots. There. Oh yeah, I'm loving my nice little bag. Check it out. Okay, if you want less fringe, you know, you can always trim more fringe. Look at that. Okay, let's move that. I got a fantastic, sweet little bag. I think I'm gonna use it to put extra coins hanging out. And so for the button, you can come see me for the button. I will help you sew it on with like an actual metal needle, not one of these, just because some of them are a little tiny. So I will help you with that. And then the next step is going to be weaving the little loop or handle. So we'll see how to do that in our next video coming up. So these are really fun. I can't wait to see yours, awesome artists. Okay, we'll catch you here in just a sec. You might just want to make sure everything looks good. Mine looks pretty good here. And so you can just check that. Let me know if you have any questions. One thing to do is to take all the string off and throw it away. Remember the little friends, if they find it on the floor, they like to fight over it. Take your name off, and we will save these cardboard looms for the friends next year, okay? Unless it got really kind of squished when you were trying to take your weaving off, then we won't use it. But if it still looks in good shape, we'll use it for next year. Okay, we'll catch you later, awesome artists. Bye.